I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Yeah, well, it does. I thought you fixed it. Stop screwing around with the camera.
I'm not screwing around with
Yes,
the camera.
you
I'm just
are.
I'm grabbing the Brotherton Auto reads
Just
and the
leave
clean
it
streak
alone.
and, yeah.
Fix
Screw
your
you,
camera.
Puck.
Well, yeah, we went through this and fix your camera so it's not looking up your nose.
How is it now?
It's fine.
Okay.
Don't move it around anymore.
God,
Is that what Kathy says?
You're a difficult boss. No, it's not what Kathy says. You're
Don't
a
move it
difficult
around
boss,
anymore?
man.
No, I'm not. I'm great. If I let people really know what I have to deal with daily with you,
What do you have to deal with?
I think people would be very sympathetic to me.
Like what? What do you have to do to deal with me?
I don't know. Every day, there's always something.
What was it today?
Where's my? No, you didn't do. Where's my money today? Just always something.
Yeah.
Oh, you informed me today, right when we're going. I won't be there on Friday. After I paid you. I mean, what a hell of a. I mean, that wait for me to pay you, so then you inform me I'm not going to be there on Friday. That actually is a veteran move. I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. You better add that in there because I was going to say, says the guy that took 3 days to go play golf when the Mariners were opening their season that might be the greatest season in franchise history, a history that has lasted 50 years.
Yeah.
And Jason Puckett thought, golf is a little more important to me than this Mariner season.
I really
trying to get my podcast off the ground here at pucksports.com.
I think it's been off the ground. It's probably going into the ground, but I really can't get those hips.
What altitude are you at with pucksports.com? I mean, are you cruising along at 30,000 feet?
No, I'm more like 1,000 feet, I think.
Okay.
I think
a little bit
1,000.
of turbulence. We have to put our seatbelts on.
Do I need to remind you and the audience why we're doing this podcast right now and what's led to doing this? Or
oh, go ahead. I don't care.
I don't know. I'm just wondering if we have to remind people.
Oh, gee, that hurts my feelings. Jim got fired, and that's the reason I'm here.
No, I mean I think a thank you would be in order maybe. Thank you for sticking up for me.
Thank you would be in order for you to me, not the other way around. Because if I hadn't gotten fired, you'd still be doing that 10-1 show at KJR, and you'd be driving over the Ballard Bridge going, oh, shit.
And just surviving, and having probably a gay old time. Yeah. Well,
you think?
So you think I need to thank you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I could put it out on Twitter. I like running those polls.
Yeah, I do one of those polls on Twitter to see.
Guaranteed, you should be the one thanking me, because if I hadn't gotten fired, you'd still be there because they offered you a contract.
Yeah, but maybe I wanted to still be there.
You were okay with the contract they offered you.
Yeah, but I quit out of
but
I quit out of principle. So you think because I quit out of principle for you that I should thank you?
Okay. Here's my guess, and I'm completely transparent and candid and genuine, authentic, all that kind of crap.
Are you?
I think you're doing better with the pucksports.com podcast than you would be if you were still working at KJR. And that leads me to believe that you should be thanking me for getting fired by Rich Moore at KJR.
Boy, I tell you what, when you look up in the dictionary what the definition of a narcissist is, you do come up.
Hey, by the way, I'm tempting the golf god fates again.
I don't want to know whoever you're betting on this week.
I'm betting on myself.
Why?
I'm betting on myself again. Things did not go well at Quail Run, and I want a do-over. I want a mulligan, and I think I'm going to get a mulligan. I'm going to start as a course marshal at another course down
Where?
here.
I want the name
I'm
of
not
the
gonna
course.
say.
Yes, I want the name of the course.
I'm not going to say.
Warn the course, this is not a good idea.
No, and that's why I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, well, I'll find out. I mean, trust me, I'm going to find out.
I've had two training sessions, and they went swimmingly well.
Okay. Permission to ask a question. did you, when you went in there for said golf course, tell them that you previously worked at another course?
No, I did not.
Of course you did not. When they find
If
out,
if you had been me, would you have done that?
of course not. But
yeah, because what if they check the references?
If they find out, if they do the reference and they find out this other course, which now it's being presented to the world, and you have people in Bend that listen to this, okay? Do you think that, what if they make a call to, what was the name of the course that you got fired from, Quail Run?
Quail Run is where I got fired, and I deserve to be fired by Quail Run, by the way.
What if they come back and so, yeah, Jim, we didn't know that you used to work at Quail Run. We're really good friends with Robbie and the crew over there. And man, we can't do it.
Yeah. Well, I fear that might happen, and I want to do over. I want to make good. I do. I want to make good. I screwed up in a big way, and I still feel bad about it. I think I told you. You told me to leave it all, let it go and leave it alone and all that stuff. But I still want to get the guy a gift certificate for dinner. The guy my boss that fired me, because I feel bad about how I acted that day. I was a buffoon. An absolute buffoon.
I'm going to say this out of immense love. Immense love.
Well, it's going to be let it go, right?
You're going to screw this up too.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, how could that be out of immense love?
Because
that sounds like out of shitty love.
Because you have a habit of doing this, and it's going to happen again.
No, it won't. How can I screw it up?
Well, because it's just, I love you, but it's just what you do.
What do they say? Past history is a best predictor of future.
You just did it with and first of all, this whole freaking start of the show is going to be praising you, and we're going to do that. But you wrote an article recently dreaming about someone and then writing an article the next day. Maybe I shouldn't have written that.
Who's that? About Shannon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes I hit that old send button, and about a minute later I go, Jesus Christ, Jim, you've done it again. Because I thought about it later, and, for anybody who doesn't know what the hell we're talking about, Shannon Dreyer and I had a falling out about 3 or 4 years ago. I'm not going to go into big details about it. But I don't know, I feel bad about it. And I had a dream about her, and everything worked out in the dream. But I thought about it later, and I thought, God, Jim, how many people probably, when they looked at that, thought, God, that's creepy, man. That's really weird. And God, Jim's losing it. What the hell? And so, those things entered my mind after the fact again. I do a lot of things after the fact when I do my thinking, and I should do it before the fact.
I think we all do that. I think Robert asked a great question. Would you rather trust Jim as a marshal or Tiger behind the wheel of a car? Ooh.
Well, I think that's an easy answer there.
Ooh.
Because if I screw up as a marshal, all that means is that you have to wait a little longer for your next shot because the marshal's out there for slow play.
Sure.
You get in a car with Tiger and you might, be going up to having your judgment day upstairs.
Well, he's seeking treatment. He's pled not guilty to the DUI. He will not be at the Masters next week. He will not be there for the Champions Dinner where he gets to honor his good friend Rory McIlroy. He's not going to be at the unveiling of his brand new course. They made a course there, like a short course called The Patch. He's not going to be there. He's going to go and get some rehab, is one Tiger Woods. We're going to get into something that Jim wrote because he did it again. We'll talk about a little bit about Colt because you and I haven't talked about that. And we haven't talked about something that came out. I brought it up yesterday about the NBA. And then a light version of Ryan Divish coming up later. Inside pitch. Before we get there, big thanks to Limback Lumber, the Limback Lumber Studios. Thank you for their support. They offer free deliveries, everything from all-house packages to do-it-yourself projects. Give them a call at 206-782-3487. Visit them at limbacklumber.com. They've been doing business since 1930, so they know what they are doing. And we broadcast every day from the Limback Lumber Studios. If you're watching the stream, that beautiful sign behind me, that was made by the father of former Washington State quarterback Gary Rogers. Huh? How about that? Pretty good.
I remember Gary Rogers.
Of course,
Stood
Gary
tall,
Rogers was a good quarterback.
stood tall in the pocket.
Sure
yeah,
did.
had a good arm.
Yeah, he did. Also, you can follow me on all the social media platforms, Puck Sports everywhere. Also, go visit pucksports.com. Sign up to become a member of the Pucks Posse. We give you bonus shows throughout the week. Sports Pit with stretches out. We talked about the moon. Do you know we're landing on the moon? We're not landing on the moon today. Do you know we're going up to the moon today?
Are we? What's what for?
To check out. I'm baffled by this moon visit. I'm just baffled by it. Do you know the last time that we've went to the moon was?
Let me guess, 76.
Close, 72. My question is, why have we waited this long? Why? It's 2026. And then when we landed on it, and we're not even landing on it today. We're just going up there to orbit. You okay? We're going up to orbit the moon. Did I say that right? Orbit.
Or orbit?
Yeah, I did. I did not say that right. Orbit the moon. Because in 2 years, we're going to land on the moon. So you're telling me in 1969, when they pieced together like metal and duct tape with those guys and strapped them in a rocket, they can land on the moon. But right now in 26, we can't land on the moon now, right now. Shouldn't that be easy?
Do you still remember the famous statement that Neil Armstrong made?
Yes. One
Come
small
on.
step. One small step for mankind. I can't remember. What is it?
Come on,
One-
that's an
I can't
all-timer. You
remember.
should know
I
that.
wasn't born.
You'd
Tell
suck at Jeopardy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be like Aaron Levine. You wouldn't be a
Just-
three-time
What
champ.
is it? Tell me. I can't
One
remember.
small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
There you go. Well, I wasn't old enough to remember that. What was that like?
It was awesome.
Yeah, I bet it was.
And the people who think that was a hoax,
Yeah.
they irritate me.
Well,
That wasn't a hoax.
But don't you think the crowd that thinks it was a hoax buys into it a little bit now that we haven't been back there since 1969?
Maybe. Who was the guy who hit the golf ball on the moon?
Was that Buzz Aldrin or no?
I think it was Buzz Aldrin. Anyway, I was on a flight from Houston to Chicago.
Yeah.
And I got upgraded to first class, and I sat next to Buzz Aldrin, and I got to talk to him about what it was like to hit a golf shot on the moon.
But I brought this up anyways. You can go
Do you
listen
care
to-
about that?
I did not. Go
So,
listen.
you know,
to,
a better talk show host would have followed up with that, and he would have said, geez, Jim, what was that like? What did he say about it? But go ahead and go on to whatever you have that's more important.
Well, the Sports Pit, it's out now on all platforms. Sign up to be a Pucks Posse member.
The Majors
today.
Challenge.
Majors Challenge. Well, don't go there yet. I'm still trying to get the guy that hosted it. I'm trying to get him to respond back to me. So hopefully that happens soon. Let's see. What else do we got? Yeah, that's it. Jim's brought to you by who?
Yeah, I want to thank Brad Brotherton again for sponsoring me here on the pucksports.com podcast.
He's wondering why.
Brotherton Buick, he's a great coog, man. He's a
course he
great
is.
guy
Awesome.
too. What?
He's
Huh?
awesome. I love Brad.
Do I interrupt the Limback Lumber ads that you do?
I said he's awesome. You asked me if he's awesome. I said he's awesome.
Brotherton Buick GMC in Cadillac and Renton, Brotherton Cadillac Northwest in Shoreline, family-owned dealership since 1916. Stop laughing. Friendly, no pressure customer service featuring quick quotes, simple financing, pre-qualification. They do it all at Brotherton Auto. Check them out in Renton or Shoreline or at brothertonauto.com. Also want to thank Brian Turner. He's been with me since day one. He'd never make fun of me getting fired twice by 2 Seattle radio stations.
Yeah, I didn't
You
make
got
fun
to
of him.
contact him at a clean streak, 360-395-5748. 360-395-5748. Get your roof cleaned, your gutters cleaned, pressure washing, your driveway, your deck. They do it all at acleanstreak.com.
Yeah, I'm on CNN. I want coverage of the moon. I don't care about this other stuff.
Well,
Give me
we're going to
of
get
the moon.
coverage of that, aren't we?
Well, yeah, but I want it. It's launching day, 3:30 for all is well. I'm fascinated by this because when we were growing up, like when I was growing up in the 80s and the 90s, I felt like this was something. It was like every year we had a launch. Every year there was
Well,
something
originally we went to the moon and
he's gone. Looks like Jim went to the moon. Jim is out. Jim is gone. He has gone to the moon himself.
I don't know how to put the do not disturb on my phone when somebody called me. How do you do that?
How many times do you want me to show you?
Well, I went to settings and I went to phone and I couldn't find some setting that said do not disturb.
Swipe down on your phone. Swipe down on your phone. And there's a do not disturb.
You want me to do it right now?
I do not, because I feel that you will screw it
up. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I was trying to make a point, and I think the point is that after we went to the moon back in the day, then the next step was going to be for mankind was to be going to Mars.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened to Mars.
Well, this is my point to this whole thing. So 1969, we land on the thing. I would think by now, like when I was the thing that stands out to me the most is 84, the Challenger. Everybody sitting in classrooms watching that. And,
oh God, that was awful.
It's the absolute, tragedy. But I felt like we were going to space all the time. And then if I was around in 1969, like if you asked Jim Moore in 1969, well, when are you going to be when Mars? 89, 90, 99? Like, what are we doing? Like, how's it taking so long? And then why are we going back up there? We're going around the thing to find out we're going to land there in 2 years and then build a habitat.
Is that what we're doing today?
Yes. They're going around there to circle the moon, to see the others, and they've never seen this other side of the moon before. Like, how's that possible? How have you not seen that before? And they're scouting out where to land, because in 2 years they're going to land up there and they're going to start building stuff up there.
Well, what are they going to build?
Habitat. They're probably
golf courses.
They're probably searching. Hey, maybe you can be a marshal up on the moon. You can't get fired. How would they fire you if you were a golf marshal on the moon? They'd probably just shoot you off into space. There you go. There's Jim. I don't know. They're probably trying to find a way to.
I mean, let's just enjoy looking at the moon when it rises.
We're going to go live on the moon or something. I don't know. I think they're saying to themselves, hey, it's not in 50 years, 100 years, but this we're burning this planet to the ground. We need to get off of it and find somewhere else to live. That's what's probably happening.
How many astronauts are going up there?
4.
Okay.
4 astronauts going up.
All right.
Very cool. I can't wait to see it. But they're not showing it. I want to see it. I want the whole countdown.
Have we had liftoff from Cape Canaveral yet?
No, 3:30 our time.
Is it still Cape Canaveral, or do we have a new place?
I'm going with Cape. I think that's where they're flying out of. Yes, Cape Canaveral.
Okay.
I can't say Cape Canaveral.
God, it was always so cool though when they came back from the moon and they landed in the Pacific. They landed in the Pacific Ocean, and then there'd be a boat out there to go get them, and they'd wave.
It's the best. I mean, there's something cool about. Is there not something cool about going to space?
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. How much would you pay to go to space? Stretch asked me this question.
I wouldn't pay a nickel. Who's that guy that took people up to space? The rich guy.
Bezos?
Yeah, not too long ago. I watched that, though. I was fascinated by that. I thought, God, I can't believe those people are getting in that tube thinking they're going to come back.
Well, they came back.
I know they did, but I would have been thinking I wouldn't. They had to pay thousands of dollars for that, too. No, I wouldn't pay a nickel for that.
Thousands? I think it was more than that.
Because you know why? My main reason why I wouldn't do that is because of my motion sickness. I know I'd be puking the whole time.
Well, you're not built to be an astronaut, clearly.
I'm not built to be a lot of things.
Well, you know what you are? You're built to be a writer.
Oh, well, thanks, Buck. I appreciate that.
You really tugged at the heartstrings this week. If you go jimmorethegotoguy.substack.com, you wrote an article about your father. Your father would have turned 100 yesterday, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
All right. Your father's name was?
James Howard Moore Sr.
You guys have the same name, right? So I never knew that you were a junior.
Yeah, I'm named after my dad. And I just, I thought about it. I think about him every year, March 31st, and he died 30 years ago. And, as you get older, you start getting more sentimental. And I just have been thinking about my dad. Yeah. Of course, I think about him all the time. And I just know that we were close back then, but I know we'd be closer now that I've gotten older. And I think what really hit home for me too is that I'm going to be turning 69 in June. And that was how old he was when he died. And so I think a lot of people I didn't think they would relate to it as much as they did, but I heard from some people going, my dad died at, 63 or whatever. And I'm 63 now and that kind of thing. So it just, it made me really think about how great a dad he was. And I just I just wanted to write about him. And
well, he sounded like a great dad. Just a great, I mean, just all the stories that you had about him. And he sounds a lot like you, other than he seemed to be handy.
Well, and he's handy, and he never got fired. He never got fired. You know what I really appreciate about him is that he was a self-made man. I was talking to my mom about him last night, and I'd forgotten this story, but when he was in the Navy, he met my mom. I think she went to Roosevelt High School. I should know this.
Rough Riders.
Or Queen Anne. Anyway, but when the ship was docked in Seattle, he ended up meeting my mom at a roller rink, and they got married. This sounds crazy. I think he was 20 or 21, and my mom was 17 when she married my dad. It was 5 days before her 18th birthday. And but he came out here once they got married, and they settled in Redmond, and my mom said he just had a suitcase. He really just didn't have anything to his name. And he ended up being one of the better the best, I would say, building contractors on the East Side, and built a lot of different homes. And it was just impressive what he did. And not so much his career, but he also took time for my sister and I, and all those days, the baseball fields up at Hartman Park, and Little League before that. And yeah, you really, I think people will relate to this when you get older. God, you get more and more sentimental. I was kind of crying while I was writing the story.
Oh,
it just brought back so many memories to write those things down.
I love the part, because this reminded me of who my dad is no longer with us as well, but what my dad would do. Like when I started off broadcasting out of college to go do football games, if it got close to where I was working down in Vancouver, he would come and sit in the press box and just listen to me. And it reminded me when you wrote, when you were in the 90s, when you were going on with Graz and Gas, doing your little weekly appearance to talk about the Sonics, or maybe it wasn't the weekly thing with Graz and Gas, or just on KJR in general, and how he would, what was he like, hanging out with his fellas, drinking coffee or something, and he would go out and leave knowing that you were going to be on to go in the car to listen to it?
Yeah, it was like 8:10 every Tuesday or something like that. And so my dad, that was a hangout in Redmond at Bud's, a little coffee shop, and they had a long table where all the old timers in Redmond, Chief Solito, Danny Janis, John Lawson, an
all their
attorney in
names.
town. And so yeah, I appreciate, my mom would tell me that, yeah, your father, he goes out in his old Chevy Suburban, and he'll listen to you every time you're on. And that's the great thing about parents, isn't it? Because I'm sure my dad thought I was terrific during those 10 minutes with Graz and Gas. And then my mom, she's always, oh, Jimmy, I don't think you've ever written a bad column or had a bad show. And I'm like, Mom, there's a lot of people out there that would feel differently. But, your parents are your biggest fans.
Of course. They should be. Well, we're the biggest fans of our kids.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. So
I think every parent relates to it. I just think it's. I mean, is this for paid subscribers, or is it free?
It was free. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you want to pay, that'd be great. It's just $5 a month. I don't know. Can I call it Jim's Posse, or is that already taken?
It's just the Jim Moore, the go-to guy.substack.com. I also like the story. We wouldn't play cribbage. We would play gin rummy. But I like the story about the cribbage when you would beat him, and he'd get so upset.
Yeah, that was just one time though. I was surprised when that happened, but
because you don't want to lose
God,
to your
I
kids.
feel like I'm a good cribbage player, and it's because of my dad. My dad taught me how to play, and how important it is, with the counting and the different variables in cribbage. And of course, there's a lot of luck involved in crib. I never did get a 28 or a 29 hand.
No,
I still have
never.
it to this day. Yeah. And you know how to get that, right, in cribbage?
Remind me again. I'm a poor player, so.
Well, you need to have 4 5s dealt to you, and then you need a face card coming up for 28.
Yeah.
The only way you can get 29 is if you get a jack and 3 5s dealt to you, and then the 5 has to come up that's the same suit as the jack to get that knobs to make it 29.
Look at you. I think you should turn professional there and in cribbage.
I'll take on all comers in cribbage.
I'm not going to touch you. I
Like,
told you.
I suck at a lot of stuff, but cribbage, I'm pretty damn good.
Well,
And I can play
just,
a little pool too, but it has to be in that sweet spot. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not good sober, I'm not good drunk, but there's that happy spot right in the middle that I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I just think that the article, I think, will touch home to a lot of people because, the whole, we can all relate to this. You get done from working and you go, and as he would do with you, he would take you out to the park to go throw to you or to catch with you. I mean, those are like the memories that you make. And I think, especially in today's day and age, right, where with phones and just everything that's going on. I mean, I'm probably, even some younger, I mean, maybe I'm still a younger parent because my kids are still relatively young, but, even people that have kids that are even younger, it's probably hard to make that time, right? But always make that time for your kids to do whatever they want. I heard someone say this the other day that no matter what, they ask you to go do something, even if you don't want to do it, just drop it, whatever you're doing, and go do it because, those moments are precious and they're going to go away. They're going to go away soon. I got 2 years. I got a year and a half left with our daughter before she's off to college. And once she's off to college, I mean, she's gone. She's gone forever.
Yeah. Well, I was going through the garage the other day because I'm getting ready for this trip over to Portugal to play golf. And so I was trying to get, my golf
the
bag in
boondoggle,
order.
you mean?
Yeah, boondoggle, correct. It is a boondoggle. But I came across, I've kept my gloves, and I've kept
really?
Mikey and Stevie's gloves too. And I've got a ball. And there's a part of me that, if the kids come home and say, "Hey, Dad, just for old time's sake, you want to throw the ball around?" Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Can't wait.
I do. And for any parent that's, struggling with that work-life balance, and this is an old song, but I would highly suggest that you listen to Harry Chapin, Cats in the Cradle. Because
Yeah.
every time you hear Cats in the Cradle, every time I've heard Cats in the Cradle, and I've heard it a million times, I think to myself, I don't want to be that guy. I do not want to be that guy. I mean, it's about a dad that just worked too much, and then when he wanted to reconnect with his kids, they were adults by then, and they didn't want to reconnect with him, and they had grown up to be just like their dad. God, it's sad as hell. Don't be the Cats in the Cradle dad. Don't be that guy. That's all I would say.
Yeah,
about it.
no, it's hard, and I get it. It's probably more difficult today than in the past, but or maybe not. I don't know, but I think that we all get caught up in kind of doing our own thing and just making time for your kids. Like I got.
Well, Puck, you and I have been lucky. You and I have been lucky to have jobs where we've had flexible schedules.
That's 100%.
Because it's easy to say that for us, but
Right.
if you're working 8 to 5 and you're
Agreed.
battling to make ends meet, it's a different deal.
Yeah.
So I can sympathize with that too.
You're 100% right. I haven't had a 9 to 5 in my entire life.
No, I never did either.
So
I mean, at the PI, I basically set my own hours, except for when I worked on the desk.
Yeah, and there's some people can't do that. There's single parents that can't do that, right? They've got to work 3 jobs.
Yeah,
15 hours, 14 hours a day, to get around. So it's hard to do all that. But you make time for those little things. Like I hate, and it happens, but I hate missing anything that my kids do. I hate it.
Oh,
I get mad if I'm not there to watch something. Like, when I was at least in, Arizona last week, I missed a baseball tournament. I was like upset about it. I was like having fun playing golf, but it's like, I kind of wish I was there watching baseball. I sent you the picture on Tuesday night of Owen umping his first game, plate umpire.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just wanted to go watch it. See how he did.
Anything
See how many
your
parents
kids
yelled at
doing.
him.
No, I'm with you, man. I remember there were times on when we did the afternoon show, Danny, David Moore over at 710, and
I don't recall that show. Was that a good show or?
Yeah, there was a guy who wrote about it and said it was one of the top 10 sports radio shows of all time in Seattle history.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Might have been some guy that was actually a part of that show. But no, I would sit there and you can appreciate this, Game Changer. And I love Game Changer. And then there were times when we'd be talking about, DePoto and the Mariners and what was going on. And I'd be like, come on, Stevie, come on.
And you're waiting for that little ball to come down, that little ball to reach home plate. Like,
okay.
Why is it taking so long for the person to update Game Changer? Let's go.
Yeah. And then a 3-1 count. Okay. He's coming in with a fastball. He's got to come in with a strike. Yeah. And then, yeah, I even remember there was one time, and my daughter wasn't as good of an athlete as her brothers, and she was on some
hold
Boys
on.
and
Hey,
Girls Club.
Brooke, we can edit this out. Sorry.
Yeah, well, she doesn't listen anyway. Boys and Girls Club basketball game that she was playing in that night, and I was in Madison Square Garden watching the Sonics and Knicks. And I couldn't wait to get out to the cab. And she was an end of the bench player, but I couldn't wait to get out to the cab after I wrote my story to find out, hey, Brooke, how'd the game go tonight?
Yeah,
How'd the game go? How'd you do? How'd you do? Yeah.
It's a wonderful story. It is. I mean, it is. You're just a great writer, and it was just really cool. I wish I would have met your dad. He just sounds a lot like you. And you're terrific, and you've done a great job with your kids. And yeah, he just seemed like a fun guy, just a good guy that was kind of a guy's guy and had fun, like to make people laugh, and yeah, just a fun dude.
Well, the number one thing I think we all have things that we love about our dads, and that there's a long list of things that we love about him. Number one for me with my dad was, and it's always stuck with me to this day, is how humble he was. And I know I can be, a loudmouth and say a lot of stuff, but I don't know.
Humble.
I just always, the self-deprecating thing and being humble, I think always works more than being cocky and, saying, hey, look at me. And my dad was never a look at me person, never wanted the spotlight. He could have taken the spotlight and everybody would have been like, well, gee, I understand why you're doing that because you're pretty damn good as a builder. But he never did that. And that always stuck with me, And so I just, people tell me, you shouldn't be so self-deprecating. I'd rather err on that side of being a self-deprecator than being somebody who thinks he's, hot shit.
I totally get it.
Totally get it. I just have always been that way. And I got that from my dad.
Yeah. I'm with you as well. I anytime somebody praises you, I deflect it as much as possible. It makes me uncomfortable in a way.
It does me too. Yeah. I appreciate it, but
of course.
Yeah. Wonderful. Hey, Puck, thanks for bringing that up. That was nice of you.
It was great.
God, you can be a jerk sometimes. God, you really do have a nice side occasionally.
I don't appreciate that. Jim Moore, the go-to guy. .substack.com. All right. I got Divish is coming up in a bit. Surprised of the Colt Emerson. Give me your take on Colt Emerson and $95 million.
Yeah, I was surprised. I think even people who are Mariner insiders were surprised by that. Did anybody see that coming? I think you mentioned, Puck, and when you talked to Bill Kruger, that maybe one of the pitchers would be next in line to get an extension. But when you do something like that and you give a contract that's $95 million over 8 years to a player who hasn't seen one major league pitch yet, that's a big story.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's going to be a home run or a swing and a miss like it was with Evan White, but I like it. I kind of like it. The biggest thing, and Mike Varell talked about, I kind of criticized Mike the other day about the column he wrote about the future NBA ownership. And,
Mike, I think you're a terrific columnist, Mike, and I don't know what he's talking about. Go ahead.
I'm sucking up to him now because he wrote about Colt Emerson today. And the thing I think that bears monitoring is, how will that be taken in the clubhouse? If I'm a veteran player like J.P. Crawford and all of a sudden my job is in jeopardy here, and here's a kid that hasn't seen one major league pitch yet, and he's already making more money than me, and I've been here 8 years doing this, I'm not so sure I like that right away. It's going to be on Colt Emerson to come in and say, hey, guys, how's it going?
I think it's because I brought that up, and I've, a lot of feedback from people. And again, you're an idiot. You one guy, were you some clubhouse expert? I mean, no, but I did cover the team for 15 years inside. I know how a clubhouse works, and I know the dynamic of it, and I know what the social and the pecking order is inside a clubhouse. Now, I don't everything that has been, I think, illustrated to me about who Colt Emerson is and the person he is suggests that this will not be a problem. I mean, I thought it was a cool thing yesterday. Maybe it's a little thing, I don't know, but he could have chosen to be there yesterday for the press conference, and I was told that they wanted to do a press conference with him, and he said no, because he wanted to play in the Rainiers game. Now, I just think that that's kind of a cool small little thing that He appears to be more just about baseball and working. And Divish will talk about this a little bit later. He's very mature for his age. You know, I don't think this is a Kelenic thing, because I bring this up to Divish. I think if Kelenic had been in this position, which he was offered something similar to this when he was here, that I think it would have been a different thing, because Jared carried himself differently. I don't think this guy carries himself that way. But I also don't disregard that sentiment that you brought up, because I brought it up. I am curious how it will play out. I don't know. I mean,
Well, how would you feel personally?
Well, I would be like, if I'm one of these guys as a veteran that's been in baseball for a while, I'd be pissed. I would. I mean, here's a guy who's never played a single second in baseball, and he's making more money than me immediately. I mean, he's total deal. He's the fourth or highest paid player on the team. And I know people want to say, well, he's being, you know, his contract's being prorated later. I don't care about that. Per year, he's making over $11 million based on that deal. That's what it is. And that is like fifth most on the team. I mean, he's making more money than Naylor overall. And so I just, maybe it won't be a thing, but you can't sit there and say definitively that it won't be a thing with someone. But I think it's a good deal for him. He's listen, if it doesn't work and he doesn't work out, he's set for life. So it's really a no-brainer. And then he's a free agent again when he's 28.
Is there a part of you though, Puck, if you know that part of you that likes to roll the dice and take some risks? If you're him and they're offering you $95 million and it's a bird in the hand,
yeah,
it is a bird in the hand. But I'm talking to my agent going, hey man, if they're offering me this much, betting on the come here, betting on my potential, don't you think that even if I'm sure he thinks he's going to be a superstar or maybe at least a very good player,
right?
But there's got to be a part of him that thought, if they're offering me $95 million right now, and $11 million sounds like a lot to me as a 20-year-old, but maybe they're shortchanging me here, and maybe I should bet on myself, like Kelenic did, and it didn't work out.
But that's the issue. See, Kelenic bet on himself, and it didn't work out. Evan White took the money. It still didn't work out because he's out of baseball, but he's got $24 million. I mean, Evan White doesn't have to work another day in his life. And there were some different circumstances. If people remember that, he had family issues. His mom was very sick. I think it was cancer. And so there was bills to pay. And so he took the money. So, but for him, for Emerson, there are no guarantees in this sport, right? And there's no guarantees in life that
could get hurt.
Well, at 26, he'd be a free. That's when he would get paid if he didn't do this at 26. I mean, that's still 5.5 years away. Now, he was going to make good money and all that, but not this. And again, I think for him, a deal that gives him 95 no matter what, and it can potentially be 130. And then at the same time, if he's a star like everyone thinks he's going to be, at 28, he's going to sit there and go, I'm in my prime. I'm not even in my prime. I mean, I'm in my prime right now. And I'm going to get whatever the market at that point is, you know, beyond 500, 600, 700, whatever it's going to be. Yeah, I think he made the right choice, and I think the Mariners probably ended up making the right choice. I think what was so surprising about it is that none of these people that cover the team had any inkling that this was going to happen, that there was so much focus on Gilbert and maybe Kirby and Wu, and then this one just kind of came out of nowhere. But it's good. Good on him.
And the other part of it, don't you think it fast forwards his arrival in the major leagues? I mean, they can say all they want about, well, we got to wait till he's ready and all those things. And then it puts more pressure on JP too when he comes back.
Of course it does. Well, Divish says a month. He thinks a month.
A month. Okay.
Well, then where are you going to put him?
Well, it just all depends on how JP's hitting, I guess. Well, everybody says his range is reduced now. He's not the player that he once was. Not that he was ever a sensational shortstop to begin with. I mean, he was good, but not great.
That's going to be interesting, though. If he comes back, let's just say JP's fine, though. He comes back, he's your shortstop. You put Emerson at third, so then where you put Donovan? Because Donovan can't come out of the lineup.
People are down on Donovan defensively already, aren't they? Can we give that a little more time?
No, people can't have time. I mean, after one game, people
generally
wanted Wilson fired again.
I can be impatient too. Like we could see that Polanco was not a third baseman.
Yeah.
I don't think we can see that with Donovan yet.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think he can still be a passable third baseman, and maybe even a good third baseman. Polanco wasn't going to be a good third baseman. So let's give that guy. Plus, that guy, you got to have that guy in the lineup every day.
I mean, and they will, but just where? Where are they going to put him? You're not. He can't.
Well,
play
that's what I'm
second.
saying. They got to keep him at third.
Okay, but if they bring Emerson up in a month, where do you put him?
At shortstop.
And you're sitting JP?
Yes.
Well,
unless JP is gangbusters with the bat.
Well, let's just say he's
back.
normal JP. I don't think they're going to sit a veteran in a championship window for a rookie.
It all depends. What if he comes up? What if Emerson comes up and he's hitting home runs and doubles and got OPS off the charts and his WAR numbers are through the roof?
WAR.
Then what? Then what? I'd rather bench JP than have Donovan like going all over the field and trying to figure out what to do.
He is, though.
Can they just leave Donovan as a leadoff hitter too? That kid seems like he can hit left-handed pitching.
And I'll be honest,
fairly
I
well.
did not like. Yeah, I'm with you. I did not like what Wilson did Tuesday night. I just don't like that.
He's done it twice now.
He's wasn't he? Did he do it the other night too when they faced a lefty?
No, yeah, Ref Snyder was the leadoff guy.
No, last night he was. Was he 2 nights ago?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that? Am I crazy?
I'm never sure about anything, but I'm pretty sure about that. Okay. I'm with that crowd that thinks he's going to be the next Donovan Solano in Seattle already. And the poor guy's only had 8 at bats.
Oh, Jesus.
God, but if you're going to use Ref Snyder, put him down 7, 8, or 9.
I didn't like when they faced Fried. I just let Donovan be your leadoff hitter. He's just let him do it. Like I don't understand moving him down. It didn't make sense to me. But
well, the numbers are against him being a leadoff guy as a lefty against a lefty. But I think he still has a decent at bat against lefties. He battles.
Yeah, he does battle. All right. I'm going to play this. I played this yesterday, but I want to get your reaction to it because you're someone who's excited for those who want the NBA back, but you're not all that excited. Did you hear the Bill Simmons?
I have heard that they're using Seattle to try and drive up the price.
Yeah, let me just play it again for those who haven't heard or seen this.
If you live in Seattle and you read and consumed all this stuff the last week or so, you're like, this is amazing. We're getting the Sonics back. Here we go. That's not what's happening. And I think it's really weird how the league is handling this. Why not just be transparent and say, hey, we're just curious to see what we get for these expansion teams. This doesn't mean we're going to have expansion. Instead, you've completely led this poor Seattle people on who now think they're getting a team. And I don't know if that's true. If the goal is we have to right a wrong in Seattle, first of all, you never should have took the team from Seattle in the first place. Criminal when it happened. I still can't believe it happened. They let it happen and they didn't rectify it for almost 20 years. You better know you're going to have a team in Seattle in the next 3 years because to extend this and make it seem like it's going to happen and then pull the rug out from under them again would be pretty fucked up.
Well, Jimmy throws a little bit of cold water on the NBA coming back.
Yeah, that strikes me as a guy that's, looking for some controversial, different take than everybody else has.
Clickbait,
and I would know that because I've done that in my past too. I think it's all bullshit from Bill Simmons, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Right to the
Todd
point.
Wiki wouldn't be coming out saying that everybody should get excited, that, the cart before the horse. He didn't say any of that stuff. It all sounded like the NBA, it's going to be rubber stamped in the summertime, that one roof group of ownership, even though Mike Varela wonders if they're going to be losers in the NBA like they are with the Kraken.
They're going to miss that organization's going to have a team miss the playoffs again.
I looked it up though today. I actually did some research on my own today to bring to the table. It's again, I would say that no matter who the owners are of the new NBA team, it's going to be tough to get that off the ground. They've got the financial restrictions in being able to go out and spend freely on free agents. When they do the expansion draft, the other existing teams can protect 8 players.
Wait, do we know that for sure? That's just been talked about. I don't think we know.
No, that's what's happened in the past. So we assume that. So you're getting 9 through 12 from the other teams, and so those guys aren't any good. The best chance you have, at least historically speaking, is You would typically in the first time that you draft the college draft, you might draft 5, 6, or 7. You won't draft 1, 2, 3, or 4. But when you draft 5, 6, or 7, that's probably going to be your star player the first couple of years. But it's going to take a while. You can have the best ownership in the league, and it's going to take a while to build the Sonics into winners like
Do
they
we
used
know
to be
all
before.
that? Because do we know all that stuff is true? What you say about the money and all that, or has that just been talked about?
Well, you think I just say stuff for?
I don't know. I'm
the
just
hell of it?
asking. I
don't
know.
have that information on the tip of my finger or the tip of my tongue or whatever. But no, look it up. They can't. The expansion teams are restricted in how much they spend on free agency, the salary cap wise or whatever. 66%, I think, in the first year of whatever the total is that other teams can spend. So that doesn't help matters.
But I don't know. I'm asking this. I don't know. Is that going to be the case this time, or are they going to change it?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they'll make it easier.
Okay, well, let's hope.
Yeah.
All right,
they should make it easier for getting $7 billion for the team.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Just make it really easy. Just make it easy and give us whoever the best player is in the league and let them come to and play in Seattle. Jim, I will say goodbye to you. We won't see you for we're not going to see you for a few weeks, right? You're back when? Mid-April?
Yeah, mid-April. Yeah, I'll be coming back on the 13th, which I think is a Monday. So I'll see you on the 15th. If you'll still have me, I don't know. Maybe you'll dump me like everybody else. Oh, God.
So can I get the money I gave you back today, or?
Sure. You want to bet on women's hoop?
Do we have a game tonight?
We got the semifinals on Friday.
Yeah, let's go.
I'll take UConn and lay the points.
UConn and lay the points. Illinois, what is it? No, Illinois.
Isn't that kind of a joke in women's basketball? I mean, I'm just
the women's.
I'm popping off here, but is anybody going to beat UConn?
Probably not, but you never know.
Okay.
All right. Enjoy your trip to Portugal. Send pictures.
Okay. Will do, Puck. Thanks, man. Love you, Puck. Go Cougs.
All right, there he is. Jim Moore with us Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. If it's fun you desire, it's fun you're going to get at Flat Stick Pub. It doesn't matter what the occasion is, whether it's date night, guys night, ladies night, or large group event, Flat Stick Pub's got you covered. They have 6 great locations across the Pacific Northwest, from Pioneer Square to Kirkland, South Lake Union, Spokane, Bellingham, and Redmond. All locations offer the best pub experience in Washington. 2 rules at Flat Stick Pub: drink local and have fun. Pretty simple. So if you like to have fun, love local beer, and great tasting food, make Flat Stick Pub your next spot. Visit them at flatstickpub.com.
If you're a homeowner in Seattle or one of the surrounding high-end neighborhoods and your garage still feels unfinished, there's usually a reason that matters. Bare concrete stains, cracks, and never really looks clean. And every time you walk through it, it feels like the one part of your home you never actually finished. At All Aces Concrete Coatings, we install Pentex Polyurea. It's like epoxy, but 4 times stronger. Slip resistant and backed by a lifetime warranty. And with 0% interest financing available and up to 24 months, you don't have to pay everything up front. We are certified installers with over 9 years of experience of construction, and we've fully prepped the concrete with no shortcuts. Hit the link below to see a real price range estimate for your garage.
All right, big thanks to Jim Moore again with us on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and he'll be off on a little vacation, golfing there in Portugal, so we'll talk to him in a few weeks. Every Wednesday, we catch up with Ryan Divish. We call it Inside Pitch. The full show is available to Puck's Posse members. You can go to pucksports.com at the very top of the webpage. You can sign up there if you're not a member already. It's just $5 a month. We give you bonus shows. We give you 3 bonus shows throughout the week. Divish is the best covering baseball. If you're a big baseball fan or not a subscriber, you're missing out. Plus, we go KJ Arntz on Thursday with Mitch Levy, and then the Sports Pit with Matt Stretch Johnson on Tuesdays. But every week we give you a Divish light version of what we talked about. His weekly appearance is all brought to you by our good friend Reggie Frederick and his family. They're at chaletbowl.com. And Chalet Bowl is a great spot. Take your family and friends. And again, book your next reservation there at chaletbowl.com. Off here. Did you find out on Twitter that Colt Emerson got the extension?
Yeah. I felt
so you are like all of us. It's like when I am in the grocery store and I get the magazine and they say these stars are just like us. They shop for their own groceries. You're just like us, the common folk. You found out on Twitter.
Yeah, like I got I actually got a text from Booth as well because he was up and saw it first. So I woke up and that's like the text message, and I just saw how like on our group chat too, it was like have fun today, and I was thinking maybe I assumed there was an extension of some sort. I just didn't know who it was. I was expecting a picture, and then I'm like, oh man, because I know who Robert Murray is. I know him well. He's a nice kid, and I knew that's the kind of stuff he breaks is like signings and stuff like that, transactional. And so I was like, oh man, this is. So then I went into scramble modes, and then I texted Justin Hollander. I said, good morning, Justin. And he replied, it's really early, Ryan, because I think it was like 6:30 in the morning when I texted him. And I said, well, you know what? I go, well, you'll know why I'm texting in a second. He goes, I'm looking at the tweet now. So, yeah.
Don't tell me that the GM of the team found out through Robert Murray on Twitter that the team had signed him.
No, I think he found out that the news had broken,
I know.
I mean, the Mariners are super guarded about how they, we don't usually get information from them very often about that kind of stuff. So, it was interesting. I couldn't, and like, I didn't even because it was so far off my radar, like that Colt would do something like this, that I didn't even know that he was represented by Aces, who are the Levinson brothers, who are straight out of Central Casting. They look like they're straight out of Goodfellas. They're from New York. They're super New York. Like they wear the Jeff Baker open collar button down to here. They got chains. Their hair is dyed jet black.
Love it.
Super tan. Like they're straight out of the Jersey Shore, basically.
Good.
And so like I was like, I didn't realize that. So it was that was an interesting way to start my day.
I bet it was. Let's get this show officially started. Of course, that is the voice, the face of Ryan Divish, Seattle Times Inside Pitch with you every single week. Big thanks to Chalet Bowl, serving the community since 1941. Washington's oldest operating bowling alley. Go visit them today at chaletbowl.com. You are, you're as good as a beat reporter as anyone that covers any sport in America. Was this on the radar at all? I mean, you and I have talked about extensions, but that usually was around Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, maybe George Kirby. Were there rumblings about doing this for Colt Emerson?
No, there wasn't rumblings per se. And again, like I guess I never really checked in that much on it because I just didn't think it was something that Colt would want to do or something like the Mariners. I figured they'd wait a little bit, but they do. So like they do go out when they have these guys, like their top prospects who are really close to major league ready, and somebody like Colt, especially who's one of the elite prospects in all of baseball, they do throw out kind of a test balloon almost to say like, hey, would you be interested in doing something like this? And some guys say yes, or some guys will say, yeah, let's talk about it. And it never goes beyond that. And some guys say no. I just never thought of Colt that way. Then again, like I was so busy kind of just covering the fact that he was going to be whether he was going to be on the team or not, how they were going to use him. I never thought that, he would do that. I mean, like we did the dance with Jared Kelenic for so long and how that worked, and here's a guy that I think is from a talent wise, a maturity level in a better position to have more success than Jared. And I just never thought that this would be a reality. I didn't know that it would be something that Colt wants. But then again, like now you think about it, knowing who Colt Emerson is, how he kind of goes about his business, how he kind of, views himself within the organization, I can see why it made sense to him and to the Mariners.
You brought up Jared Kelenic. Was he offered maybe not the length and the amount? Was he offered something similar to this deal when he was here?
I never got a direct number. I want to say that they offered him something similar to Eloy Jimenez of the White Sox. And I want to say it was like 60, 65, maybe over 6 or 7.
I bet he regrets that now.
Yeah. Because like I think what the deal was would have lengthened out with some options to 8 years or something like that, and push it closer to 80 maybe. I think that's what I was told. I remember talking to his then agent at the time, who was a little unhinged, I would say. And he thought that Jared, that he was looking something more like Ronald Acuna who got that after his first year, but got like 110 million, starting, and then with a bunch of options. And I think that's what they were looking for more than they were looking something north of 80 some million dollars.
You surprised he did it going back to Colt Emerson?
Yes and no. Like, this is a kid who'll be in position to make a lot of money. If he plays to his projection levels and what everybody believes he can be, which is an everyday shortstop at the big league level that's going to hit, somewhere in the 280 range and carry an on-base percentage close to 390. I mean, like, given, whatever the slug becomes in that, I think, yeah, I mean, like, what are they giving shortstops right now? Like Bo Bichette, who's not even a shortstop, got like 3 years, like what, 120? So yeah, you're talking about a 9-figure deal that he would be getting, and we're talking 150, 160, 170 million if he plays to what everybody believes he can be.
And will be a free agent again when he's 28?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if he debuts this year, his clock starts. Yeah, he would have been a free agent at 26, because if he's 20 now, 21, like if he gets enough service time to have a full year, and it would be a little difficult because I think just depending on when he was called, if he's called up and debuts, that's when the service time clock starts. Usually if you're not called up, before June 1st, then you don't get the full year of service time in. But even then, so he'd be a free agent at 27 years old. And I mean, you don't know what it's going to be like under the new collective bargaining agreement too. He could be a Super 2 guy. He could have been a Super 2 guy. You're paying him 4 years of arbitration eligibility versus 3. Like, he could have got super expensive and still left, after age 27.
Or there could be a cap by then. I don't know. Who knows what happens here in this next CBA?
Yeah, I'm not anticipating that the players will give into a cap, but it is possible. I mean, I think, when this deal went down and you hear from people within the game, and some people are saying, oh yeah, they're doing this because of the new CBA or the lockout. You don't know what it's going to be. You don't know what the rights of the players are, everything else, get it done. I mean, I think some people believe that. I think this was a move of opportunity for the Mariners. Like, this is a kid that said, yes, I'm interested in doing this. I'm interested in getting locked up for a while and committing to this organization. And they're thinking, this doesn't happen very often with top prospects. So let's figure out something that works. And I think the one thing is, and I'm sure, they look at Jared Kelenic and the negotiations with that. And I think they're thinking, you know what, we have a better understanding of Colt and who he is as a person, as well as a player, and how he handles failure, all this other stuff, that they trusted themselves to do this. Whereas maybe I think that might have been a sticking point with Jared as well. Like, obviously there was some talent there, and he was on a track where he thought he could be really good. But, I'm sure there were some red flags along the way. Like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this because of this. This is a lot of money to invest in a kid when he does have some glaring issues that we want to address. Whereas with Colt, I don't think there's that, and to use a word Jerry uses, but variance. Like, there's not the highs and lows. He's pretty kind of flatline, in his production. He's been good. He's always kind of, the way he handles his at-bats, the way he goes about his business, it's always been pretty steady versus like a high rise and then some lulls and back and forth.
Well, and you've mentioned that many times, just about how professional he is, how he doesn't carry himself as a 20-year-old, that he carries himself as you've mentioned Mitch Haniger many, many times.
Yeah.
That he's very wise beyond his years. So maybe not that issue that they would have had with Kelenic. Let me ask you something that it was the first thing that came to my mind. And, you know me, I'm known to overreact. And I don't think
you're saying Evan White.
No, I'm not saying that. I mean, listen, I think you have to accept. I think Mariner fans and the organization needs to accept that could be a reality.
Oh yeah.
I think there's been some that I've seen, and again, all fans are irrational, and fans can act any way they want. It doesn't mean that he's going to be a superstar, that he did it. There is a possibility he could be Evan White. Evan White's out of baseball, but he collected $24 million. Now, if that happens to Emerson, all right, he just collected $95 million. He's set for life. I mean, his family's set for life. My question is this: how would this play in the clubhouse? Could there be any issues at all? I mean, he's 20. He hasn't had any service time. You've got veterans in there. He's making more money than the majority of them. I mean, I think he's like total deal. He's making more money than Naylor.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, yeah.
Yeah. Could you envision that at all of being something?
No, but I think he's going to have to pay for a lot of dinners moving forward. I mean, honestly, like if I'm in Tacoma today,
is he going to pay
I'm
for?
like if I'm in Tacoma today, you know, it's like in Bull Durham when they're drunk and they're going to go start you know, they're going to start the sprinklers, like make the bonus baby pay for it.
If I'm one of these Rainier players, I'm saying you're paying for the rest of the year, like as long as you're here.
I remember the one year when Cole Young was drafted, and he did the workout at T-Mobile Park, like they all do, you know, and he's out there and he's doing the infield drills and Perry Hill yells, "Carl, pick up the baseballs," you know, and made him pick up all the baseballs and put them in a bucket. Then Demo would say, "Hey, you know, you missed some baseballs over there." And I go, "Why are you giving the kid the hard time? He's just a kid." And Demo looks right at me and goes, "He's making more money than me right now. He'll make more money. He's already made more money than me in his career than I have made." And so it's like, yeah.
So you don't think though with Colt, because the way that Colt, if this were, let me reposition the question. If this was Kelnick, and I don't mean to get Jared Kelnick to get some strays here, but
no,
the way that he carries himself, if this was Jared Kelnick getting this, you would probably answer that question differently.
Might have, yeah. Just because, again, like Colt Emerson, you're probably not going to know that he just signed a $95 million contract. Yeah. You know, you're probably not going to know. He's not rolling in tomorrow with a Randy Arena chain, driving a McLaren, you know, with an entourage. He's probably going to be driving a truck because he's from, you know, he's from a town in Ohio that's very similar to Montana, like 800 people. He's going to be driving a truck. He might get a new truck.
Sure.
But, you know, he's still going to be wearing jeans and like that's the thing. Like there's a trust level. Look, somebody gives me $95 million at 20 years old. Could you imagine?
I'm done. It's done in a week.
Yeah. I'm going Richard Pryor and Brewster's Millions, just buying a yacht and like boat time. You know, no, this is a kid that's the thing. And I asked Jerry, I said, this is an investment. Is this an investment in the person as much as it is the player? He says, well, obviously you got to be good enough to get this, but at the same time, you have to trust him to know that this will not change what he's going to do. And he has to trust the organization on a lot of levels too, when you're going to commit to this. Because remember, Kyle Seager committed for $100 million or whatever, you know, a couple of years in, and he was told by ownership, hey, we're going to try and compete. We're going to try and win every year. And they didn't really commit the way they promised him they would. Not just with Jerry, but even in the years before that, they didn't invest in the team maybe the way they should have. They would get close and they would never push their chips in all the way to get maybe that one more piece or to make a move to do it. And I think, you know, Colt is investing in the Mariners, believing that this team and the way they do things is going to continue to provide talent. Now, it helps that like a lot of his teammates that he came up with are really good prospects. And it also helps that the catcher, the first baseman, and the center fielder are going to be there for the next 6 years when he's up there playing. But I mean, think about this. Like when he's 20, let's say when he's 25 and he's, let's say conservatively, he's 280, 360, and like a 450 slug, you know, he's hitting maybe 15 to 20 homers, but he's playing everyday defense, you know, and he's getting on base and maybe he's your leadoff hitter, he's your whatever. Like how much value is they're going to be paying him roughly like $9 million or $10 million over that time. Like it's probably worth double. So, you know, and right now what the big thing is they're paying him $1 million. They gave him the $8 million signing bonus. They're paying him $1 million now, $1 million next year. Like that helps so they can sign these other guys to extensions as well.
Do you think it's a weird interaction in the Rainiers clubhouse this week when JP is down there doing his rehab and then he sees Colt?
No, I mean,
hey, Colt, how you doing, bud? Yeah, good for you. Shit, that means I'm off the team next year, probably.
I think JP, I think if you're JP and you're watching guys work, and he's, you know, I don't know that JP reads everything that is written, but somebody in his family does and lets him know what is being written. You know, like, I mean, that's how it works. Either these guys read it or their agent reads it or a family member reads the stuff about like, you know, this and that. I mean, we wrote a lot about Colt Emerson this spring. Like as Logan Gilbert once said to me, he goes, "Oh, I thought you only wrote about prospects, dude." I'm like, So it's like, yeah, they
Hey,
know.
You tell Gilbert you used to write about him. So
Yeah,
tell
I
him.
know.
Right.
And when he was a prospect, but like, I think honestly though, JP has seen the business side of how this went. Whether it was how Seager was handled when he was first here, then, he sees the rebuild and all the trades and everything. And then, Ty France being let go, Demo being let go. He knows that loyalty only extends so far. So I think to him, it's like, this is my last year. I want to win a World Series because this could be my best chance to win a World Series, and then he'll be a free agent next year. I'll try. He got his money too.
Yeah, that's true.
He got
Yeah,
his money when he was not far from proven as well.
Absolutely.
And so, like, I think that's.
Drink Georgetown Tavern Beer, your new locally brewed domestic style lager. 4.2% alcohol. Cheap, good, local.
Again, full episode of Inside Pitch with Ryan Divish available for Puck's Posse members. Just go to pucksports.com to sign up today. More on Emerson, more on the struggles of the three big hitters, Cal, Julio, and Josh Naylor. And I mean, he goes off on the end about the television deal involving the Mariners. When Ryan Divish is being labeled by the organization as being the voice of the fan, they've really hit rock bottom on how they have been able to articulate and get the messaging across there with the television deal. Again, Inside Pitch, part of the Puck's Posse membership, $5 a month, all it costs you. If you have any issues with that, you want to watch or listen to the whole Divish thing, which is out right now, by the way. It's another 20 minutes or so. You can send me an email if money's tight. It's no problem. puck@pucksports.com. Let's wrap up the show here on a Wednesday. First, we do with On This Day, and then we're going to get to Hey, What the Puck. But, of course, On This Day brought to you by Hive Social.
Welcome to Hive Social, the social network that brings your real-world proximity to life. Tired of endless scrolling and fake connections? Privacy is built into the heart of Hive with easy-to-set-up safety fences and visibility controls. Whether you're here to hang out, network, or meet someone new, create events, share photos and videos, and keep the conversation going with built-in chats for every connection and every moment. Download now and see what's happening around you.
Right, just download the iOS store or Google Play. On This Day brought to you by Hive Social. April 1st on this day, and we take you back to 1969. Of course, you know this if you've been around as baseball fans. In 1969, the Seattle Pilots were here. The Seattle Pilots in 1969 on April 1st made a very significant trade. And in fact, it would be the first of two times that a Seattle baseball club would trade this guy. One as a player and then one as a manager. Of course, any guesses? Anybody in the chat trying to figure out who this is? Been traded twice by a Seattle baseball team. One as a player, one as a manager. First time it happened as a player was April 1st, 1969. They would trade this player who would go on to become the Rookie of the Year. There in the American League with a .282 batting average, 11 home runs, and 68 runs driven in. He was traded for two prospects by the name of John Gelnar and Steve Whitaker. Gelnar would spend just one season there in Seattle, just like the team, and then 2 more years when they relocated to Milwaukee. Whitaker would play just one season in the big leagues. That player that was traded by the Seattle Pilots to the Kansas City Royals was Lou Piniella. He was traded in 1969 for those two prospects. He goes on to win Rookie of the Year. Of course, he was fantastic playing career and then went on to, of course, be one of the best managers in the history of the sport and certainly the best manager this organization has ever had. He would be traded again by a Seattle team, this time the Mariners. Because if you recall, much later in his career, 2002, the Mariners traded Lou Piniella, their most successful manager in the history of their organization. Does anyone remember who they traded him for? You might remember who they traded him for. I guarantee, without looking it up, no one will know. Along with Piniella, they sent another player over. But Lou Piniella was traded to the Tampa Bay Rays for Randy Wynn. But also going to Tampa Bay, a part of the deal with Lou Piniella, Antonio Perez. All of that happened on April 1st, 1969. We go next to 1985, still to this day. One of the greatest upsets in the history of college basketball. Still to this date, it's the lowest seed to ever win an NCAA tournament. Any guesses on this date? April 1st, 1985.
That's it. Villanova has done it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why they play the games and not just talk about them the day before. An improbable team when this tournament started in the biggest field of all time, 64 teams. The Villanova Wildcats will now go down in history as the big, shocking upset winners in the NCAA championship tournament. Villanova.
Ole Massimino and the Villanova squad taking out Georgetown, of course, was the heavy favorite, 66-64, and again, still the lowest seed, number 8 seed to ever win the NCAA tournament. We're not going to see it this weekend because it's just all chalky, right? And you're probably never going to see something like that ever happen again in this current climate there of college athletics, which is unfortunate because the NCAA tournament should be built for that. All of that happening on this day, April 1st. And again, on this day, brought to you by Hive Social. Download the official Puck Sports social media app from iOS store and also Google Play. Hey, What the Puck is brought to you by Tersuli Construction. From emergency response to full-scale rebuilds and remodels, Tersuli Construction is a full-service contractor handling your project from start to finish. They are locally owned and operate out of Ballard, serving the Puget Sound area for over 15 years. So if you're dealing with damage or planning what's next, Trent and the crew is going to take care of you because they do it all. They're at Tersuli Construction, restoring what matters and building what's next. Give them a call, 206-793-3744. Tell them I sent you, please. Also visit their website, tersuli.com. I can't wait to watch Colt Emerson for many reasons. One, if you've followed him throughout the minors since they drafted him, he has hit and has delivered at every level. I think the thing that I'm most excited about, though, with Colt Emerson is this. I don't know if it's an old school way or what. He just seems old school. The way that he conducts himself, the way that he carries himself. You know, I have brought up several times, would others, not an issue with Emerson, but would it be others with people in that clubhouse? I thought Divish kind of nailed it, though, when we talked to him earlier. Because of the way that I think Colt Emerson carries himself, that it's not going to be an issue. Because I think they recognize his talent, but they also recognize how much work he puts in. He's a guy that arrives at camp with his head down, ready to work. Not questioning anything. Yes, coach, got you, coach. I'm going to go do my job. Just a very old school approach. It sounds like he was brought up right of how he conducts himself. And I think that's what ultimately he's got to deliver on the field. But I think there's a lot in his favor that he's going to because of the way he practices and the way he conducts himself and carries himself. I think it was a small thing, but I think it's a very impactful thing to let you know inside maybe the character, work ethic of Colt Emerson. He could have been there at the press conference this week when they announced $95 million. They probably wanted him there. But he said, no, because I'm getting ready to play for the Rainiers. My focus is on Tacoma. I think it's a good sign. It's a good sign. It's a wise move what Colt Emerson did. I think he still is betting on himself, but he's going to bet on himself with a guaranteed chip that he can be paid again. And I also think it's a wise move by the Mariners because if he's as good as they think he is, at the end of the day, this will be an absolute steal for this organization. That is Hey What the Puck, brought to you by Tersuli Construction, restoring what matters and building what's next. Give Trent and the crew a call at 206-793-3744 or visit them at tersuli.com. Thanks for everyone watching and listening to today's show. Thank you to all our sponsors, as always, Limback Lumber, Flat Stick Pub, Georgetown Brewery, All Aces Concrete Coating, Hive Social, and Tersuli Construction. Could not do it without your support. Today's Daily Puck Drop, please find it up on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. You may not be a subscriber. I think we're like a few away from 6,000, so that'd be great. Let's get to 6,000 today. Hit that like button, leave a comment, try to get to as many as we possibly can, including the person that said, your lineup stinks. Can you get some new people? Thank you. Also, find the Daily Punch Up on your favorite podcast platforms and at pucksports.com. When you're there, sign up to become a Pucks Posse member. Again, $5 a month. If you have any problems, email me, puck@pucksports.com. You get bonus shows. Sports Pit with Stretch is out. Came out yesterday. The latest Inside Pitch with Ryan Divish is out now. And then KJ Arntz tomorrow with Mitch Levy. All right? Also, Graz with Gas, Take 5 podcast, I believe, is coming out tomorrow. Okay, that's it. Good luck to the astronauts taking off into space. All right? Godspeed. Fingers crossed. Let's hope everything is okay with that. Everybody enjoy. If you're going to the Mariners game, little day game, enjoy that. We will see you tomorrow on Thursday's show. As always, we promise to be better.
No shirt, no shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah. I was born to love. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you, but you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!